Dorney Debbie. How'd you know her nickname? You must have been in Lanford before, right?
I'm off Lanford. Right, tell me when we're good to go. We can't
Why have I still got my seatbelt on?
This is got to be a bumpy one.
A bumpy one again. Right, I'll put this up a little bit. You're about there, are you? Good to go.
Start her up. Right, welcome episode 2. Thanks everyone for all the messages and follows and everything. We got a real good response. So today we're gonna go a few questions, gonna go through my past and everything, and then the next episode then after that will be all about Big Shawnee here.
All about us. We're getting an episode each to talk about ourselves. You wouldn't think by our Instagrams we love talking about ourselves, but I think it's a good way to let people see a little bit more into our insights and how much our life has changed. So I'm going to be grilling Gio.
Yeah,
I don't know, we haven't even talked about how deep we're going to go here.
We just said we have half an hour limit on each other.
There could be a couple of fucking trims and edits here now, so we'll see how things go. But Jason's after finishing the marathon last week with Up and Out Fitness, was it?
Yeah,
was that the lads? Yeah. And he done a savage time in the scorching heat. So that's the first question and first topic I want to talk to you about.
100%, yeah.
Congratulations, first of all. Well done, fair play to you. How were you feeling the night before?
It was grand. I had a bottle of beer the night before. Never drinking the gas.
What beer?
Peroni, was it?
Yeah,
no,
you have to go for the good
Peroni?
Italian. Peroni, no? Moretti.
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 It was Moretti, yeah.
Moretti's
A bottle
the
of Moretti, just the one. I was sitting there, I was just chilling. I was like, I had one bottle, settle the nerves. Didn't go to sleep till bleeding 1 o'clock before I was up at the race start at 7, so I was up at bleeding 5. But like, I was bouncing around listening to music, fucking
Ready to go.
ready to go.
What were you listening to? What were the tunes? Give the people the go-to tunes.
the-
Name the top one, the top 3 tunes to go to.
I listened to that Athlete tune that you put on
Athlete.
the banger.
Yeah.
Well, it's just a bit of grime in it.
Bit of grimy tunes, the grimiest white boys you've ever met in your
I'll
life.
tell you.
And then what was the week leading up to it? What way were you fueling? There was a couple of people asking about that.
Pastas, just eating the pastas, oats, carbs, good fats, salmon. I looked after myself the week coming up to it. But cause after doing all that graft, it was literally 10 weeks, like a fight camp for 10 weeks, just training all the time. So I was like, I'm not fucking up on the last week. Do you know what I mean? So last week I was really like, hit the sauna nearly every day, hit the recovery rooms down bench, good spot, do the ice bath and the hot tub, and then into the sauna, and then into those compression leg yokes. Serious though.
Oh yeah, the fucking Nordic glove things, isn't it? To go
Yeah,
around your
proper
legs,
job,
keep the circulation going.
They just flush it out, flush on the legs.
And obviously that played a good kind of even putting your body at ease, probably helped put your mind at ease because you knew well that you were just deloading to literally spring out of traps.
Yeah.
Was it Saturday morning or Sunday morning?
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. And you had a scorcher, you weren't expecting that.
Oh, so, well, to be honest, before I was like, I don't care what the weather is, be grand, I'll deal with it. I didn't get there enough respect to the sun. It was fucking hot.
Yeah, like in fairness to you, even like that is hard to go for a run. And I've trained triathlon clubs back home, and I remember like a few times there was a big run coming up, and next minute the Sunday it'd be a scorcher, and people would be just failing. But you ran an animal time.
Yeah, I wanted 3:10. That's what I said in the last podcast. 3:10. I'll be happy with anything under 3.5. I've done 3:17, but it was absolutely everything I had. Hit the wall coming up to the end, and all it was like just as much as I could have possibly done. So I was happy, like. But then I knew I'm still like that now. Like one of my goals is sub 3:15. It's in my notes, like, do you know what I mean? That I was like, could I have done it? Could I not? But after that, I know I couldn't have done it anymore. That's what I had in me. That was it.
Yeah, well that's it. Like if you know you're after emptying the tank and you gave it your all, you're after getting your best time, and you have something to work on for the next time as well, you know. And hopefully it'll be a nice mild day and you're not getting fucking sunburned running around the place. So after the marathon, what was the feeling like? Could you even enjoy it? Were you just fucked?
Yeah, just fucked. But my family and I was there. It was good. The same thing as the first time. It was just like a big rush of emotions. Like you're gonna cry. Kind of let it out a little bit more, but still didn't fully cry. I should have just cried, but just you're around everyone and you're just like, oh, it was a great feeling. They put the medal over, you know. I came 5th overall, so I was happy with that.
Jesus.
That's over 30 odd. There's 30 late 30s in it, so I came 5th overall. I was just delighted with.
That's savage, man. Fair play to you. Top 5 in any finish.
Yeah.
You know, especially like.
Especially yeah, but like like the next one now, the winner fella got done it in 2:58, so sub 3.
Okay.
So that's the goal for the next one now, sub 3. think
And when is the next one? How much of a break are you going to give yourself?
have the Antrim half marathon end of August, and then the Dublin virtual in October, and Belfast in October as well. So
That's a lot of running. You're not giving yourself really fuck all of a break. Because I've heard lads before telling me that they take a serious time off. They'd be broke up for a whole week. How are you feeling now?
broke up. Broke up, big
Mangled. Fair play to you. I don't know. I seen all the training you were doing and I was like, yeah, I'd love to do it just to be competitive, but honest to God, it's not really appealing to me at all now, honest to
even after I was like, I don't want to run ever again. Do you know what I mean? For the first like hour after, like, I'd never got to run again, but now I'm already getting to go. I haven't done a run yet. I took a bleeding chunk out of my foot there in Portmarnock yesterday, so.
When you see a picture of this is like, it looks like he stood in Freddy Krueger's finger. It is mank. But he's dousing soda cream there.
I'm going to get soda cream, so I'll run tomorrow. I'll do a 7k tomorrow. That'll be the first run back. I was supposed to do a 20-minute run yesterday, but just done yoga with Sean instead, so still got a session.
Got the yoga in with me, and he's coming on the weights as well now.
On the weights soon now.
So the winter's nearly here. Believe it or not, the sun is shining, but bulking season coming soon. All that running will be gone out the window. So you were delighted, obviously, after the marathon. You went in the gargle.
Yeah.
You're still kind of recovering.
Still shaking a little bit.
But from where you've went from September, wasn't it? You said you started getting back into training and your health. So before, you were obviously a lot heavier. You were up at what? I mean, you were in around the same 97 kilos.
Yeah.
Before that, like in your early teens, or was there any kind of sporting background that you had, or were you into any sport, or?
Yeah, it's professional, not professional, sponsored rollerblader. So I used to travel around the world to compete and doing like skate parks and all that stuff. My little brother's pro now. He's still pro. So we done that for years.
Little brother, is it?
Little brother,
you taught him everything he knows.
That did, yeah. Then he got well better than me. But he's still flying that now. He's his own pro wheel and all that stuff.
Yeah, I've seen a few of his videos.
But I've done that for years. That was my passion when I was growing up. And then turned 18, and then the wheels come off, don't they? You start fucking going out on the session and the women, and
that's it.
You start putting your priorities change. So then done that, then I'm playing football and bits of mountain biking, and I kind of pick up stuff quickly. Like, I don't be amazing at it, but I get good at it, and then I kind of get bored, and then I got to do something else. That's what I've kind of always been like.
Yeah, I was kind of the same, jack of all trades, kind of master of none, doing fucking.
I like a master of all trades, jack and none.
You master everything in your first goal. You think you'd be one of those fellas? There is some fuckers out there like that.
Well, to be honest, I pick up stuff quick. There's not many stuff. Like, if I put my head to something, I'll do it. Like.
Yeah.
But then I get to a certain level, then I get bored of it, and I'll like pick up something else, and then I have an addictive personality, so I just go flat.
Do you ever see those boys though that are just like sickeningly good at fucking nearly every sport, and you're like, that fella doesn't even fucking train that hard?
Yeah, it's always them GA players.
Yeah, them GA players, they're sickos. Any boys that play midfield on a GA team, they're just like, they can play rugby, they can box the head off you as well because they're long, and then they're just like, they're playing midfield and fucking Gaelic, you're the lord of the park pretty much, aren't you?
100%.
So what are we playing? Were you playing ball or GA?
Soccer.
Soccer,
yeah.
And what position were you playing?
Up front.
You were playing? Typical.
That's mine, isn't it?
It's a fancy fella up front. I'd say you had number 10 and everything on it.
Always number 10.
Number 10. I would have loved to be marking you. I was playing centre half and I was about 95 kilo. And the soccer season used to go on separate from the rugby season, so I'd be walking off the rugby pitch, 2 weeks break onto the soccer pitch. Now, we were never much good at the soccer. We'd have some good wins, but sure, boys were turning up drunk to matches most mornings. I remember playing a match down for B.A.M.N, and I swear to God, there was about 9 lads turned up gee-eyed. A few of them had to have a shower before the match and everything. One of the boys got a red card in the first 60 seconds and everything. Like, that's kind of football we were playing. It was good crack though.
Good crack, good stories.
And any other sports? That was it? We were probably just flat out with the rollerblading?
Flat out with the rollerblading, then kind of football between both of them, and then just might start drinking. And I'd still play football, but like I'd be going on the session all the time. It'd be just, wouldn't be a priority. Okay. And then that was like, then I just started running a bit when I was younger. And I got fast enough. I was nearly sub 25k for a while, and then I got with a board, and then just ended up spending all my time at home, and then that went.
What did Mickey say in Rocky? Women make your legs weak.
That's it.
I'm telling you. I'm sorry, girls, but the shit has to be done now for the next few years.
Yeah.
And he needs to keep his legs strong. He's a half marathons to be running.
That's it, 100%. So then just this, I just kind of I nearly started this fitness journey I'm on now then, and it just got cut short a little bit, but it was down to me, I was like, that's not what I want to do at the time. So then this time just was like, right, this is it, I'm gonna go flat and just push myself. Like, I just put the work in. I think just the consistency, just always just not missing any sessions, not missing anything. Like this week's the only week where I've kind of missed the run yesterday. Well, it wasn't even a run, it was 20 minutes exercise, so we'd done the yoga anyway.
Yeah.
But like you need a week off after all. It's like I peaked, you know what I mean? I got to train for 10 weeks and you hit this goal and you fucking do your best in the marathon and you feel great. Then there's only one way you have to come down off it. So it's just trying to keep yourself from not going too far down and get yourself back up.
Coming down after having a few pints after it as well, after you've been dehydrated from running and then dehydrated in that heat.
I think I ate ciabatta after, that was it, just right after, and then I didn't eat for bleeding a day, like another day, so like I was down to 76 kilos and then I went up between then and now I'm like nearly 80, so.
He's about 87 now.
To get back down.
Get you into the sauna after this, you'll be grand going back into work tomorrow. He's in the 36-inch waist jeans now, he is going into work. So when you gave up the rollerblading, like that was obviously a promising kind of thing you had.
Yeah, it was good,
And obviously your brother stayed consistent with it and he's doing something with it now. Would you have any regrets at all?
No, I don't look at things like that. So like even now, like if I was gonna do it, I would have done it. If I didn't, I didn't. Do you know what I mean? So there's no, I don't think like you're like, oh, I should have done that. If you could have, you would have. It's like when someone's saying like, oh, if I trained, I could do this. You're like, yeah, but you can't train. You're not training, so you can't train. So this is what it is. Do you know what I mean?
That's it.
So I don't really regret. Whatever, you make a decision, you live with it, and I wasn't in the headspace to do that at the time. That's who I was at then, and that's the way I went, and that's it.
That's it. It's a good way to kind of look at things too, because people can end up holding on to a lot of regrets, and even just the way you're after saying that it's kind of an Eastern philosophy I kind of follow, which is literally like Taoism, and it's just acting the accordance in nature. Whatever happens. Just go with it and not be dwelling on it. So it's a good attitude to have, especially when it was something that you were getting sponsorship with and you were getting you were obviously talented at.
Yeah.
But now you're onto something that you feel like you can pursue and push on with, and you know, really set some good times, competitive times. So
I think the running, you can get good at it quick if you put your head down. Like it's one of them things, like you don't have to be talented. Like you couldn't just decide, oh, I'm going to be a professional footballer. Like, because if you have it, you don't. You have to put the work in, obviously, with it. But with the running, all you do is put the work in.
That's it.
Your body, like, obviously, I think I'm athletic, and I think I probably have genetically, I'm good built for it. But so is loads of people who sit at home. Like, and I was fat for ages, and I still had the same genes. You know what I mean?
That's it. So your genes just changed. Like your genes actually do change when you start changing your body. Like it literally completely changes, like once you start looking after yourself better. And I think a lot of it's got to do with your mindset. Like when you're sending those positive kind of thoughts and positive actions that you're doing, it definitely changes your whole genes. Because not saying we're fucking built like gods now, but compared to what we were, like that's 27 kilos, 22 kilos or something we've lost. And back then you probably never thought, oh, I'll never get down to running that time and I'll never get doing this.
Yeah, like sub 20 was always my goal. Like I get sub 20 at some stage. Even when I wasn't training, I was always something in my head. Like, and then just fucking 17, 26 there, not too long ago. I was like, that was never even the realm of possibility. Like,
yeah.
And now I feel like I can go beat that. Do you know what I mean? Like I've goals to beat that now.
Yeah.
And like I don't know. Now I don't have a ceiling. I don't know where to go. Just gotta keep pushing.
Do you have a ceiling? Like people always say there's a ceiling with everything, but some people break that mold, don't they, and push on through.
100%.
It's impossible till it's not impossible anymore. You know that way.
So I'm not looking at someone like oh, they done it. I feel like I'm leading where I'm going. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like, oh, to copy what he done. I'm like, no, anyone I know I'm doing more. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I can push more than that. I can push. So keep pushing, see where to go.
That's so there's like, obviously you were saying there about looking at other people. Would there be any influences as a young fella that you feel like you're motivated by now, like someone maybe from your childhood or someone on TV or maybe some sort of fitness personality? Is there anyone that you would have really looked up to back in the day?
See, like with work ethic and stuff, I would have been like lazy growing up with stuff like me. Well, school, I hate school, like this wasn't for me. But then my stepdad, like he's like me dad. He's basically me dad, 100%. Like, but he was like always hard worker, instilled the work ethic, but like didn't translate to school. Do you know what I mean? But then when I started working and I started making money, then I started getting this work ethic from looking at what he was doing. Do you know what I mean? And then I started putting that into training. Then when I got serious about training, so through him, like that'd be a big inspiration. Like he'd be one of very few people's opinion I'd listen to. He'd be one of them that I would definitely listen to 100%. Deadly,
because that's close to your heart. It's
exactly,
not like some people, oh, I want to be like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. You actually had a good role model in your life. You know, and a lot of people don't have that. It's tough growing up like that without it. So
100%.
That you can count your blessings that way that you had.
Definitely, and I'm grateful for it. You know what I mean? And then I think Conor McGregor as well. When he's at the start, I think he's a ghost right now, but at the start, like how his journey and stuff, how he done it, like the way it was just like to see people from this country can go do that on a world stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where no one else was really doing that. It's loud and brash, but now like he's just gone off the bleeding rails.
I know how much stories that fella is, but honest to God, like, it breaks me heart. I'd just love to go back to 2016 when he's bursting on the scene and knocking out everybody, because there was just crack everywhere. There was house parties and everything going on. You started trying to dress like him.
You took David, didn't you?
So you're obviously your stepdad, your dad, any sporting influence then?
Gerard, just loved the way Gerard played football. Just that fucking tenacity. Do you know what I mean? That, like, I remember listening to
I'm a Liverpool fan, by the way, die hard.
Yes, I remember listening to someone like play. I don't know. I was watching some documentary and there was someone who never made it but played with him. It was just like, it's like he had longer legs when it came to a tackle. He always had a step. He just wanted everything more than everyone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, just that, and I remember listening to a thing with him. An interview with him saying he's just like, every day when training he had to be the best there, like, and it's that, like, every day mindset. Do you know what I mean? You have to be the best every day, because if you're the best every day, you're gonna be the best of all time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that'd be a big one for me. Gerrard was a fucking beast.
Yeah, Gerrard was an animal. He was one of definitely me all-time favourite Liverpool players. The way he used to just pick out passes. I know he had a few nightmares that cost Liverpool a lot, but, like, you know what I mean? It's heartbreaking to see the man give it everything and then not win a fucking Premiership medal. Like, that man deserved it more than anybody, like, you know. So
you don't get what you deserve, though, isn't it? That's life.
That's it. Sometimes it's hard to beat. That's probably why you're better off on an individual sport, running, because you're literally, it's just down to you, whereas sports,
I think the big thing then for someone like Gerrard to carry a whole team, do you know what I mean? Like, that's something you have to, like, take inspiration from as well, mate, because in a sport where it's you, like if you're taking a load of baggage that's not as good as you and making them as good as you, do you know what I mean? That's a big thing, isn't it?
Look at Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Fucking man's back must be broken every time he's playing for Portugal.
Yeah.
Like, it's sick, and the age of him as well. But an interesting thing with him, with Ronaldo now, it could probably not say we're like Ronaldo or anything, but it's about how his training has changed. I remember watching a thing about him when he was with Real Madrid. He was like, remember he took off the top that time and he was just like Jean-Claude Van fucking Damme, like, he was ripped. But he said when he was getting older, he started carrying more injuries and carrying that muscle around, and he felt heavier. So he started flat with the stretching and the yoga and started cutting down on the weights and everything. And we would have been probably training, as we were saying before, the wrong way. And it's interesting when you get older, you start to train differently and enjoy things that you wouldn't have liked before, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because as a young fella, nobody likes going running.
100%. And when I kept back running, like, I definitely started stretching. Like, when I started stretching, I was getting injured when I came back, and I was like trying to run fast, and it just wasn't happening. And I just started doing a little stretch, and oh my, like, the difference it made just the injuries stopped. The injuries that make you stop running. Do you know what I mean? We'd have like, I get injuries all the time now, but they're never severe enough where I'll stop. Like, it take an awful lot for me to stop. Where, like, just start looking after myself. Just like, all right, I'll stretch after I run. I'll do the bits of yoga, I'll do the mobility work, just doing that little extra bit, but just makes it freer. Like, your hip flexors and everything are so important. They get so tight, especially working. I work sitting on a desk all day, so my hip flexors lock up all the time, so I have to stretch.
I'm the same, especially them lab chairs. I don't know what way they're done in the fucking hospital. It's just brutal, and I find when I haven't got my yoga done in the morning,
You can notice
I'm broke up by lunchtime. I'm like, that little 5 minutes now would have saved me that little pain in my hip or that pain in my back.
It's always a pain where you can't even stretch it into that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like inside your hip flexor somewhere. Like, you're like, how do I even stretch that? Do you know what I mean?
Down in the middle of the work office, high lunge, no hanging out of the trousers.
They're well used to me
now. So you're enjoying the yoga. Is there any other things now you're going to be adding to your little arsenal of training?
Yeah, I joined SPG Charlestown there, so I'm going to be doing just a bit of MMA. Just striking, jiu-jitsu. Just, I think I like with having the base of fitness I have now. I think whatever I train, once I can put that engine into anything else and keep the running up as well, it'll go over well. So
yeah,
that's
it'll
what
give
I'm
you
going
a
to
good
start
head start. SPG Charlestown's a good spot. When I moved down here, the first month I was living here, I needed a boxing club, and it wasn't too far away. It was kind of handy to get to SPG Charlestown, and all the boys out there are bang on. So it was definitely that was a good choice. Going out there, everybody is bang on out there. I'd love to go back out now. I'll get this knee fixed and be flat back out rolling.
100%.
Two sweaty gorillas rolling around the place out there, getting the head choked off us by the fucking young fellas.
That's it, yeah.
So that's it. So you're back, what, running, jiu-jitsu and the whole lot now is coming in?
I'm just going to go for it, because I was boxing 3 times a week, so I'm just going to do the 3 times a week. See, the boxing had to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 o'clock, where sometimes you can't make them, do you know what I mean? Where I can, with the SPG, you can go anytime you want. Like,
Yeah,
there's always a session on, so if you need to move something around, you're not missing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a good spot out there. It's great that when gyms have that kind of facility where you can have a different timetable, you can kind of float in and float out. And would you think about maybe competing in jiu-jitsu now if you can get any grasp of it? I find it a very interesting sport. I've done a bit of it with a mate of mine, Chad Riley. He's competing in MMA. He's a very good jiu-jitsu player as well, so I'd love to get back into it. So would you think about?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, look, I love a competitive person of that aspect, but I'm not nearly there yet, so I'll take a while.
Yeah.
Like, I'm focusing on the running now. I kind of learned to, like, focus on one thing, and then you can do all the other stuff just as exercise and training, but then have a main one if you want to be good at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You can't be fucking kind of doing everything, putting like 30% into everything.
Yeah,
like, because
exactly.
I'd love to be doing 5 or 6 things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at the minute now, I'm just focusing on 3 things. Yeah. And I'm putting like as much effort as I can into them. So that's the way to go. Like, you can't, as you said, you can't just be dillying and dallying and dipping into one thing and dipping out another.
I think you can do that as well, but you just need to have, if you want to be good at something, you need to focus on what's on the running.
You're going to progress slow, you know, if you're doing that.
Yeah.
You know?
And I don't mind progressing slow in the likes of going to SPG and stuff like that. It's just good to know to handle yourself. Like, I can box now. Like, I've done the boxing with Sen for months and just done one-to-ones, and he taught me how to box, so I'm comfortable enough moving around boxing. So I think if I can just bring that over as well, it gives you a little bit of you can move around so you don't feel like a tick. Do you know what I mean? You have a bit more confidence going around the gym.
Yeah,
like,
definitely. Definitely the boxing is good, especially like because every fight starts standing on his feet. So I had a bit of boxing going into SPG when I was out there. Only done a few striking classes out there, but even just, I know like kicking range is a lot different than punching range, but you just have that stance and you have that bit of a spring in your step. Now here's us acting as if we're a fucking Muhammad Ali or something like that.
Like, compared to, like, a lot of people can't even move around. Like, you can see when you go to the gym, they don't have any base, or they obviously they just be consistent to learn. But it's nice when you can go in and you don't feel like when you're shadow boxing, if you don't know how to shadow boxing, you can be like, you're not even what you look like, because like, a lot of people look whatever, but you just feel awkward. You know what I mean? So I remember going to gyms before and trying to shadow, like shadow boxing there, and you're just like, you're just like thrown, and you're
boxing
just, like,
from your shoulders. It's madness.
Where, like, now I can move around, like, I'm not good, but like, I can move around. I feel grand. I feel confident enough that I don't look like an idiot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's it. When you find your own rhythm as well, it's something like that. You're just like, well, this is my rhythm. This is how I stand. This is how I throw. This is what I do. You know what I mean? If you've done a bit of it, if you're only learning, it's actually brutal. Breaks me heart to see some fellas walking around and you're just like, that poor fella doesn't even know how to handle himself if anything happens. You see men walking around in fear nowadays, and it actually breaks me heart seeing how weak men are in society now at the minute. So hopefully you get some motivation out of this and start getting your shit done by any means necessary, because it's not easy.
It's not easy, no.
You know?
It has to be done. Like, the difference in just being able to, just being confident enough in fitness and just in yourself, and it takes a long time, like, to get comfortable with yourself. But once you are, you realise that no one gives a bollocks about you. Do you know what I mean?
That's it. That's the biggest advice I give anybody. If you're starting something new, the other people that are there don't give a shite. They're there to enjoy the same thing you're there to enjoy, and they're looking to make friends. So don't be nervous going to anything. Obviously be a little bit nervous, whatever. Everybody has apprehensions going in somewhere, but just people are interested in the same thing you are. Just go, try and enjoy yourself, and you never know what'll come out of it. You know?
Definitely.
So, and what is the plans now? Any plans to travel now that the world is opening back up a bit? You're going to get a few holidays in?
Yeah, I'll book Marbella there with Josh in September, so he's doing a bit of Thai boxing now, so we'll get him to bring the pads over there. We'll do a bit of pads over there in the sun.
Yeah, that's what I love. Like, I'd love to set up like a training camp, get a few boys to go away and just flat out training for 5 days or a week even.
That's it, because I don't really have to where I want to go on a mad one. Like, you need it maybe 1 or 2 nights when you're over there, go for a few drinks and a meal, and then but that's not like going on a drinking holiday. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the drinking holidays, like, they're a killer, because you go over and you just get absolutely mangled the first night you land, spend a ball of money, and then you're just like, shit, I'm fucked now for the rest of this holiday.
I have to keep drinking now just to keep yourself going. Like.
Yeah, I'm actually dreading it. I actually don't want to go on a lads holiday ever again, if I'm ever allowed go on a lads holiday. But so what's the crack now in work? How are you finding work? Is it busy?
Yeah, it's quite down there for this month, but it's going all right. I can notice a difference now because I haven't been training this week. A bit more energy. Do you know what I mean? Because like them endurance training, like, it just, you don't be arguing with anyone.
Yeah.
You don't have that extra bit. Like, your testosterone's nearly gone from all of it. So
you can't even barter with people to buy a car off.
Yeah, no, I can't with work. I was being like, even with people, but like, I don't stuff that I would have been like, I was arguing with people over stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, even in relationships and all, it'd be like petty, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and now
yeah.
it's just like, for all the training, like, but I can notice myself this week, just have that bit more energy. So it's just finding the balance of still being in good form and having the energy and working out. Like, it's hard because obviously the last 10 weeks was marathon training, so you have to do it. So now we'll kind of pull back a little bit before this half marathon. Won't be as much training for it.
Yeah.
And then when the marathon comes up, you just have to give yourself 8 weeks where you know you're going to be pushing yourself.
How do you think, if you were a sponsored athlete in running, plug any boys out there want to start sorting out meals for RJO here? But if you weren't working, how do you think the training would have went? Do you think you would have been like training far more, or do you think that the running training was perfect?
I couldn't have done any more. Like, even with, I think maybe work took a hit more so than the training. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like,
your commission was down.
Nah, that's about right. But I think the work takes the hit more than the training does, because the training's there, your time, your paces that you have to run, when you have to do them is all there, so that has to be done. In work, I'm there, like, and like I'm not falling behind, you know what I mean? But it does, you can notice again sometimes. I can notice, like, if I'm resting a little bit more, then in work I've more energy. But you've only so much to give in a day, so it's just trying to find the balance of it, isn't it?
That's it. But sure, look, and you enjoy work anyway. That's the main thing.
No,
a lot of people aren't enjoying work, and it probably makes it harder to go training if you're coming out of work depressed and everything. But
that's it. No, I'm in a good job, good crew. Like, after the marathon there, like, a lot of the lads from the job were there. Like, we all went for points and all together, so it was good. One of the other lads done it as well.
Yeah.
So it was good crack.
What were you on the gargle? What were you drinking?
On the Guinness, about 15, 20 points of Guinness, because if the marathon was finished at what, 10, like, started at 7:30. I started at 7, and then I'd done 3:17, so 10:30. I was on the drink by half 11, I'd say, for the day then.
Jesus Christ, I'd say you were in a jock by the end of the night. I have another question here about the running. So you've done the marathon distance, right? Say if time was taken out of the equation, how far do you think you'd run? How far do you think you'd run before you'd stop? How many miles would you put in?
I don't know, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because it depends on speed and all, a few things that come into the equation.
If you were sauntering at like a 60% pace the whole way?
I'd say probably, I want to do a 50k anyway, but I'd say you could probably do 60, 70 if you're rested enough.
Isn't it sick to think the runs that some people are doing around the world?
It's mad, the race.
200 or 300 mile runs, people collapsing.
It's all conditioned though, like, you can do it, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, like, these people, it's like anything, it's in their head. The main thing is fueling yourself, because you've only your glycogen storage. You have 2 hours of that, and like, if 2 hours of glycogen before you go into ketosis, then you start burning fats in the muscles, you know what I mean? So if you're fueling right, but then you can't fuel heavy if you're running fast, because you're going to get stitches and you're going to be heavy, do you know what I mean? So
that's it. And people out there, them sickos, are looking to get that. Do you ever heard that rhabdomyolysis? It's like where you have kidney failure and you're pissing blood and everything, and like, people get pissed off when they don't fucking reach that level, like, after doing the fucking 250k run. But that's like trying to kill yourself. Some people are sick, but
you have to be sick for it though, isn't it?
There's so many people out there that like just motivate you. Who from now, like, who in this timeline now would motivate you?
To be honest, myself. I honestly get motivated with myself.
Self-motivated.
I was thinking a while ago, like, and I don't want to sound cocky about it, but like, thinking where you came from, like, and why you're doing it, like, it's like you want to be the person to give yourself goosebumps, you know what I mean? And like, I can do that, and I fucked up in the marathon because I've done it before, do you know what I mean? And you have to get it, and I'd done it too early in the marathon to see if I could do it, and then I couldn't do it when I needed it. Do you know what I mean? So I was in the marathon, I think I was about 27k in, and I was like, right, let's see if I can do this, do you know what I mean? If I can get a bit more from myself. I'd done it, and I was like, right, but I don't need it. And then when it came down to it, when I needed it, I thought it was weird. You go through some mad things, but
any conversations you can remember from being in the wall? What was the crack with that? Hitting the wall.
My body's just like, stop. Just like, your brain's just telling you to stop. You shouldn't be doing it. You're gonna kill yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's mad. You're like a different person. Like, there's one time, like, when I was about, I'd say 37k in, and my mate Josh, he came to run the last 10k with me, and I was like, I had to stop and just breathe, like, but I didn't stop to like stop. I was like, right, I need to stop, suck as much oxygen as I can into my body. So I was just doing like the Wim Hof method thing. So I was belly, chest, getting as much oxygen as I can, because I just wanted to like finish strong. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just stopped walking slow, and I was like, right, let's just get as much breath as you can, because I could feel myself being depleted of oxygen. I had depleted at that stage. I was depleted of all my glycogen. I was just running on willpower. So I was like, right, just use your head here, stop for a second, get as much oxygen you can into your body, and we'll go again. And then went again and finished it.
It's savage. That is like, it's sick to even have the thoughts, like, when your body's failing, to even think, right, I'm going to get proper oxygen into me.
People don't get it. Like, people never find out that about themselves. That's why I was like like I get excited on there because I'm like, you know what, like this is, people don't feel like this. Like I can't even explain the feeling now when I'm sitting here, but you don't get to that stage where you feel like you're gonna die. Like not that even, your body's telling
it's
you.
It's not appealing to me,
it's
man.
It's like your body's telling you you're like, you need to stop or you're gonna die, because that's what's built into your brain. You need to stop or you're gonna die.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is people don't get this. Like, I mean, there's only a select amount of people who push themselves to get to this level. Like,
yeah.
So enjoy it while you're here. Do you know what I mean?
Enjoy it. You're on about nearly dying and everything.
Nah,
man.
You're not nearly dying. You've fucking loads left. It's just your brain telling you that you're.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? You're fucking. You could do another one again if you had to. Do you know what I mean? If it came down to it and you really had to.
Yeah.
For real reasons, for family or anything like that, you could do it again. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's different though. If you're running for your life, is a lot different than running for the crack.
So like, it's your brain just telling you to stop. You don't need to go past this for your body, but to get to that stage is unreal.
Yeah, fair play to you, man. But I was only saying it to one of the girls getting out last night. She was asking me what I think about doing the marathon, and I was like, sure, that fella's after doing the time. If I end up getting my knee fixed next year, that's what I'm going to have to come and try and beat now. That's so it, yeah. I doubt I'm going to beat it, but we'll see what happens.
That's the second one I won. Like, I remember like years ago, people talking about marathons, like, fuck that. What the fuck would you want to be doing that for? Do you know what I mean? Like, you just don't know what's around the corner for yourself. Like, well, what motivates you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, people were telling me in the gym that I used to be training, like the athletics club, about their toenails falling off, not being able to walk, having to go to physio like 3 times in the 1 week and all this crack. And I was like, this isn't appealing to me, but I'm sure the sense of achievement.
The same people that do that aren't doing yoga, aren't stretching, aren't like, your feet do get barren. Like, I've bruised, all my feet are all bruised, but not so much so that you'd be like, I'll never do it again. But people be saying, like, it's the same thing. People set ceilings for themselves, and like, if you look after yourself, you can do a marathon every week. If you, I mean, people do them every day. Like, if you just have to condition yourself and not kill yourself
and look after yourself. That's why you see with some top athletes like LeBron James spends $3.5 million just looking after his body a year. $3.5 million. Now, fair play to him. I wouldn't know when the last time I was at physio. I have to start going back and looking after myself a bit better that way. But $3.5 million is some investment to have in your body. So you can imagine what sort of fitness levels, strength levels, like, imagine what that is like, being at that level of athleticism and being that much of an international sports star.
And that's it. Like, you'd wonder, like, how much that does benefit him rather if he didn't do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you never know, because he does do it and that's the way it is.
Yeah.
But like, you'd like to know what the difference is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, look, he got there without that. You know what I mean? I only heard that article there a couple of years ago. So he obviously got there the whole way through, wherever he came from, the whole way up through the NBA with hard work. So it's grand when you can get to that level. Ronaldo, all them boys, they have that at the top.
I think a lot of that is longevity then from there as well. So like, so they can keep at that level. But like, I think when you're young, you have enough juice to get yourself to there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your body's just built like,
full of juice.
Full of testosterone. All your levels are high.
You're ready to go.
Like, they're serious athletes anyway. But then they put the graft in with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and just maintenance. Then, like, you hear even what age Ryan Giggs finished playing football at? It was like 41 or 2 or something, was it? Yeah. He was the same. Another fella completely changed his training and kind of moved away from a few things and went flat out with the yoga. I'm plugging yoga to death here.
Yeah, it was fucking good sus. It's a good sus.
Yeah, so you've been enjoying the yoga. You were there last night. How do you feel during it now? Because I noticed your hamstrings looked a bit tight after the run and everything.
Yeah, you can imagine, can't you? It felt good. Like, it's the same. Like, this week is a deload week, so like, when I'm doing it, sometimes I'll be pushing, I'll be stretching, I'll be breathing as hard as I can. This week is just right. Just get through this week. Still a bit hungover anyway from the weekend, but like, get through this week now, and then next week back on the goals, back on where I need to be. But the yoga it's like anything. It's how much you put the stretch on, how much you're breathing, how much you're pushing yourself.
That's it. You just have to find that balance so you can come back to the mat the next day. You know, same with the running. You don't want to be killing yourself every day. If you were going out running full marathons every day, you'd never get to the marathon. You know what I mean?
That's it, yeah.
So, the last 3 questions I want to ask you. So, the first question is, what is the next short-term goal over a month?
Just lose this 3 kilos.
He lose that no time. I'll get him into the sauna.
No, short-term goal is to just get me back feeling fresh. That 10-week program, like, it's designed to break you down by the end of the 10 weeks. Then you have your deload week where you peak again, but like, then you push yourself through a marathon. Like, that's 100% push. You know what I mean? So this week now I need to deload, and then I'm gonna just do, maybe next week or 2 will be just kind of get myself back up a bit, and then it'll be on to this half marathon. I want to do 4 minutes a kilometre, so I think that's 1:25, which is like, that was where I wanted to be for a 5k. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's where I wanted to be for a 5k a few months ago. Now I'm thinking like I can do this now in Antrim. Like I can get a 4-minute kilometre.
That is sick.
But I need to put the graft in again. So
That's the short term.
That's the short term goal.
So medium term now, say from between now and Christmas.
Sub 3 hour marathon.
Sub 3 hour marathon.
Take 17 minutes off it.
17 minutes in 6 months, 5 months.
5 months, yeah.
That's going to be some training. I'm looking forward to seeing you doing it. And what is the long-term goal? Where would you see yourself, say when you're sitting out, chilling out in your mid-40s, you have a lot of running done, you have a heap of trophies in your cabinet. What do you think you will have done, or what do you think you'll be at, or what do you think?
I think I'll be helping people, coaching maybe, something along that lines. Yeah, it's like
Deadly.
I don't want to coach now because I'm happy with my job. I'm in peak physical. Like I'm in my prime now. So I think like you can't. Boy, don't try to help people while you're trying to help yourself. And then when you've finished and you've done it, you have all this accomplishments. Or if you do, you don't. Or you can like stuff will happen. But I think on an ideal world, you'd like to be smash everything for the next 10 years and then have something to offer people. Do you know what I mean? Say here, I've done it. This is how I done it.
Yeah, and people will be looking at you going, he has the proof. The proof is in the pudding.
And like people don't even have to look at you. They can tell by how you carry yourself, like when you've done it or when you haven't. But that'd be the long-term goal. And have you any slogan, whether it's one by yourself that you've made up, give yourself goosebumps. That's what.
Give yourself goosebumps.
Give yourself goosebumps. Yeah, be the person to give yourself goosebumps. I think if you can, because that's real. Do you know what I mean? You're not lying to yourself. Then, if you could give yourself, like, you can't just do that. You have to be able to think and say, right, I've done this. That's fucking good, and that's you that's done that, and it's you that's doing this. It's all internal. Not like it's nothing to do with anyone else. You know what I mean?
That's it. That's a good one now. Give yourself goosebumps. And obviously you want to be giving yourself goosebumps, but you know there's going to be a lot of hard work to go into it. So
100%,
I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'll probably be out recording some of the sessions, and we'll be pushing on and getting it done by any means fucking necessary.
Lad. Thanks everyone for listening, and all the support's been unreal. We're going to push this on now. Definitely, we feel like we can help and give you a bit of advice and just let you see like how we live. And if you have any questions or anything, just get on to us. We're very, very approachable. If you need on at all, let us know. Yeah,
100%. We might act like fools on Instagram and people think we're cocky pricks or whatever, but come down and chat with us. We'll have a coffee, we'll do a bit of yoga, do a bit of training. Anyone has any questions about anything or wants to know what we're at, just give us a shout, and hopefully enjoy the podcast. It's all about me in episode 3.
Yep. That's quality.
Sweat.